Hello folks, so I thought it's time I did a little standalone video on fuel prices. If you watch my Sunday morning news videos, it comes up almost every week at the moment for obvious reasons. The cost of petrol and diesel is absolutely shooting through the roof. This is not a political thing for me, I don't have allegiances to anyone, okay? So before we get too much further into this, I think we should look at how the price of a litre of petrol is actually worked out. So 45% of it is the wholesale cost price. So that's the amount that your retailer is paying for it at wholesale. 29% of it is fuel duty. So that goes to the government, 29% fuel duty. Then 17% of it is VAT. Obviously VAT is charged at 20%, but 17% of the cost of that litre of petrol is VAT. 7% of it is biofuel costs. 2% of it is supposed to be the retail profit, and 1% of it is the delivery and supply charge. So the single biggest factor in the cost of a litre of petrol is tax. It's VAT and fuel duty. 46% of what you pay for a litre of petrol is either fuel duty or VAT. Now obviously the government recently brought in a small cut to fuel duty because of the rising cost of fuel, and they're doing an investigation at the moment to see if the retailers actually passed that on or whether they just swallowed that up and had a bit more profit in the bank. If it's found that the retailers did actually keep it and used it as extra profit, I think they'll face fines. If it's been discovered that the retailers did pass it on and therefore the cost has just gone up astronomically still, even with that small saving on fuel duty, then they'll look at further measures that need to happen to bring the price down. But my argument really is 46% of what we're paying is tax. So I'm just going to do some really simplistic maths on this, okay, just to try and get this point across for you in quite a clear way. So at the moment, if we say the average petrol price is £1.85, it's not exactly that. This is not an exact science. If we say the average petrol price is £1.85 a litre, that's 85p going to the government in fuel duty and VAT. So 85p of it is the government's, a pound of it is cost and retail and supply and everything else. In 2020, the price of a litre was about £1.30. And of that, although the percentages may change ever so slightly, it's roughly 60p of that went to the government, of that £1.30. So you see the difference here. The price to us has gone up massively, but actually the government are taking 85p as opposed to 60p. So on every litre of petrol that you currently buy, the government is about 25p a litre better off than they were in 2020, which is why that 5p cut in fuel duty is too little too late for sure. They could cut that right back and still be taking the same amount in fuel duty and VAT as they were 2 years ago. There will be a few people watching this quite smugly and saying to themselves, well, I've got an EV and I charge it using the sun. That's fantastic. I'm really pleased for you. This still means your loaf of bread's going to cost you more. It still means your cost of living's going to increase because the fuel cost has a knock-on effect to all sorts of things in all sorts of industries. Now, I've seen some petitions from utter plums to say go and block the motorways and all this sort of stuff and cause chaos on the roads. That's not going to help anyone. It's just ridiculous things like that. Some of those people doing that will be the same ones that had to go at people from gluing themselves to the M25 recently. That kind of thing is just ridiculous. It doesn't help anyone. But what you should do is anytime you see a petition about fuel prices, anytime that you get the chance to debate this with anyone, your local MP, whoever it may be, do so. The government doesn't control the wholesale cost of fuel, but the government does control how much fuel duty and VAT they take on the litre of fuel. And as we can see, at this time when inflation's the highest it's been in God knows how many years, the government are taking much more profit from every litre of fuel than they were just a couple of years ago. As I said, this is not a party political thing at all. I've got no allegiances to anyone. I did actually write to Grant Shapps, who's the Secretary of State for Transport, and obviously you could do that as well if you chose to. I wrote to him about our appalling train service where I live a couple of years ago, and I just got back the most ridiculous response from him. By the way, I say Grant Shapps, you may know him as Michael Green, which is another name that I believe he may have used in the past. As I said, the wholesale cost of petrol and diesel is out of the government's control, to a large degree anyway, but What is in their control is the amount of tax that they charge us on a litre of it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks.